Hi, I'm Jay and welcome back to my channel. It's super early in the morning here, but I couldn't sleep anymore because I'm homesick at the moment, and I thought it could be a good idea to get around recording this video. I was tagged by the lovely Lovella of Lovella's Coloring to do this Colourtuber Watching Tag. And it's a set of 11 questions that you'll find in the description box below, and I'll just go about answering this question. Let me preface this by apology that if I sound sniffly, coughy and sneezing, it's just because I'm sick. I hope it's not too bad. I'll try and cut most of it out. Also, I really want to congratulate the person who came up with the tag ColorTube. I really, really love this term because it just shows that we're our own thing. This wonderful coloring community that has found each other here on YouTube. And of course you don't need to make YouTube videos yourself to belong with us. And I found that this community is so welcoming to everybody who picks up doing videos, even if you're inexperienced or don't have the best technical setup or whatever. I have experienced nothing but positivity here since I've taken this up, and I feel so welcome and loved by all of you. And I've never been part of a community more wonderful than this one, and I feel really so blessed that I got to know so many wonderful people through this. So yeah, Lovella, thank you again for tagging me, and we'll get right into it. I think the tag originated with Zoe Archer, and the first question is, how many ColorTubers are you subscribed to? I checked and I'm subscribed to exactly 101 ColorTubers, a wonderful number. The second question is, when do you watch ColorTube? I mostly watch in the weekends, during the day, and sometimes on weekday nights too, but that only irregularly because I work full-time and weekday nights are usually reserved for spending them with my partner. Third question is, how do you balance ColorTube watching, making and coloring? For me that's pretty easy so far, because my schedule only allows for set times where I can do these things. I can only film videos on one, sometimes 2 nights per week when I have the apartment to myself, because we have a slightly cramped living situation. And that makes for a very good schedule, I've felt, because I usually manage to make 2 videos on those days, so 1 video per day. And the rest of the days of the week I can then edit and upload those videos, and then that averages out to 2 videos per week. And I almost exclusively color on the weekends during the day, and that's also when I watch most of ColorTube. The fourth question is there a difference between videos you love watching and making? On first instinct I would have said no to this question, that there's no difference between the videos I love watching and making, because it turns out the videos I really like watching are also the ones I really have fun making. Like color and chats. I've only done 1 of those, but it was just so nice to color and just talk to you. And for the same reason I love watching them, because I then color myself and just listening to someone coloring too. Haul and collection videos. I really love watching those because I think it's so interesting what other people got and what they think about the coloring supplies they have and the coloring books. And I personally think it's fun making them because when you present your coloring supplies that you got or the coloring books that you have and try and talk about it, you really maybe you reflect about why you got something or why you have something. And especially when I went and did the video on my coloring book collection, I just got reacquainted with books that I hadn't touched in a while. It was just so nice to take all of them out and be happy that I had them and just enjoy them again. But when I watched Lovella's tag video, she said that, she reminded me that there are also, of course, live streams. And I do enjoy watching live streams, but it's not something I will ever do, mostly because of my schedule. I've used to watch a lot of Twitch. I don't know whether you've heard of that. It's a big platform for live streaming, all kinds of things. And I think it actually started the live streaming trend a couple of years ago. And so I'm used to watching live streams. And I really enjoy watching the coloring live streams and chatting with all of you, just meeting, the community, being in the same virtual space, kind of. Even though it's a bit hard to color at the same time. That's why when I'm in chat, sometimes I just completely drop out because I started coloring myself. Yeah, sorry, that was a bit rambly. The fifth question is, who was the first ColorTuber you subscribed to, and do you still watch them? I had to go back to my first YouTube account to answer that question and look it up, and I was actually pretty surprised by the result, because without looking it up I would have said that the first ColorTuber I ever subscribed to was Peter Hewitt, and I would have been almost right. I took a screenshot for you that I'll show you right now. And if you look at the screen, then chronologically it starts to the bottom right and then goes left and up. It's a bit counterintuitive. So it actually turns out that the first ColorTuber I subscribed to is a German channel called ClearTfatHappy. And yes, I still watch her, even though she makes less videos than she used to. And she has branched out to be less focused on coloring books, and she does a lot of videos on lettering and bullet journals and other craft things. I still enjoy her videos a lot, and if you understand German, I can really recommend watching her. She has a lot of extremely instructional videos up, also if you go back to her older content, and one of her videos was a very involved video on shadowing with colored pencils, and I plan to reference her video for you because it's so good and I learned so much, and I really want to even if you don't speak German, just to rephrase it a bit too for you. And after that, I subscribed to her. I then subscribed to Peter Hewitt, and yes, I also do still watch her, even though again she does a lot less videos than she used to, and I think that's also because she had a lot of health problems in the last year. But I still watch each and every video she posts. And sometimes I also go back to her older ones and watch some of those. I actually have a tab open with her video where she shows all the pictures she did in 3 years of coloring, and sometimes just watch that again because I think it's so relaxing. The sixth question: who is the most recent ColorTuber you subscribed to? That would be Steffi Sweet Colors. Even though she's French, and my French is more than a little rusty, especially when it comes to spoken French. Reading French I can kind of pick out the meaning, but listening to spoken French is, But I found that especially with well-explained tutorial videos, it's possible to follow, even if you only understand the widest gist of what they're saying. Yeah, now we have a French and a German coloring channel. We're getting really international here. Number 7. Share your favorite older ColorTuber. I'll understand this question, as many of you already have, not older as in age, but older as in since when they are on the platform. That's without question Peter Hewitt. I have so many fond memories of just sitting at my desk, learning about techniques, trying to follow along her tutorials, listening to her explain everything just calmly and in a way that I could understand. So yeah, Peter Hewitt. Question number 8. Who is your favorite new ColorTuber? That's a hard question for me to answer, because I still feel that I'm the newest kid around here. So I don't have a good feeling for who is new. But let me take this opportunity to shout out a couple of the wonderful ladies that I love watching their videos, and if you don't know their channels for whatever reason, please go and check them out. because they're all extremely talented colorists, on top of just being kind, wonderful people. So first of all, of course, the wonderful Lovella of Lovella's Coloring, who tagged me. And I absolutely love listening to her videos, and she has this wonderful calm voice and calm way of explaining what she does and her thought process, and she's also really the most organized person, and I really want to be better organized like she is. And I recently reorganized my workspace, and I did a video. I filmed my coloring supplies on that occasion, because I had, completely ripped out everything everywhere, just because she just inspired me to just organize my stuff better after I saw her video on her coloring supplies. And I really also enjoy that her collection has some supplies, coloring supplies and books, especially Asian ones, that you don't see everywhere. And then there's Amberly of Amberly Silencia. I found her channel because we mentioned her in a video, and I'm so happy for that, because I love watching her videos, and I found it happens so often that we do the same thing or try the same thing at the same time, incidentally, and it's just a lot of fun to have a coloring friend like her. And there's Susie of Susie's Coloring. She's another wonderful lady that I'm glad to have met here, and I just love listening to her talking about her life. And always when I listen to her, it makes me so grateful for this community, because Susie is someone I would most likely never have met otherwise, because our lives are so different in so many ways. But with this community, I got the opportunity to get to know her. Last but certainly not least is Faye of Faye's Color In. And the same I said for Susie goes also for Faye. I love listening to her talk and explain things, and there's so much wisdom she shares, and I feel I learn so much just listening to her. After I now checked out their channels in detail, turns out all of them could be considered new too, so I think I answered that question. Question number 9. What is your ColorTuber pet peeve? I don't exactly have a pet peeve, especially now that I've tried making videos myself and figuring out how extremely hard this really is. I think the only pet peeve, if you want to call it, is if people have the angle of their video wrong. That happens if you film upside down. So if your camera is at the back of your desk and then you film from the top, and then to get the video right side up, you turn it with your video editing software. That's actually how I film myself. So the camera is in the back of the desk. So if you do that, if your camera isn't angled correctly, if your camera isn't facing like in a horizontal plane to the desk, the turned image will look skewed. And that's really hard to watch. That's really hard for me to watch because it kind of makes me a bit seasick. But that's really the only thing, and not something that would prevent me from watching a video. Question number 10. What have you learned from ColorTube? Well, the answer is easy. I have learned everything from ColorTube. Seriously, everything I can do today, I have learned from watching YouTube videos. All the techniques that I know, all the color combinations that I turn to, just everything has been taught to me by ColorTube. Question number 11. Tag some ColorTubers to answer these questions. First of all, if you're watching this and want to do these questions, please feel tagged by me. The questions are in the description box below, because I know, tagging someone inevitably leads to someone being sad that they're not being tagged, and if that's you, please, I'm tagging you right now. I also lost a bit of an overview who was tagged already by whom, so if I didn't name you, it's also maybe because I figured you'd already been tagged. So with that being said, I tag Passionista Colorista and Nick and Tina Coloring. I also tag Colored by Caroline, Shayna in Colorland, and Holly Ann Coloring. I'll put all the names of the channels in the description box below, so that you can go back and look them up. The last 3 channels are new and small channels like myself, and I hope everybody goes and checks them out, because they're very, very talented colorists, and they make wonderful videos, and I think they deserve to be more wider known than they maybe are at the moment. Yeah, those were my questions to the tag. This was really, really fun to do, and I absolutely love watching the videos on this tag done by other ColorTubers. Thank you again, Lovella, for tagging me, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye!